Hey, welcome to Gear Vlogs. I'm your host, Mario. Hey, if you enjoy seeing car news coverage, project builds, car show coverages, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you get updated with my latest uploads as well as live streams. Okay, the first production, SSC Tuatara, to debut at Monterey Car Week. The official delivery date to take place at the Quail An Motorsports Gathering. SEC North America will hold the official public event where the first customer of a SSC Tuatara will be given the keys to their new Hypercar. The event will be held at 12:10 p.m. during the show at SSC North America's display area. Members of the press and attendees of the car show are encouraged to attend the event to witness the reveal of the car for the first time to the public. This event marks the beginning of a new era of production hypercars as customers begin to take delivery of their new Tuataras. Although this is the first customer to take possession of a Tuatara, future customers and members of the press have had the opportunity to experience its extreme performance and track level handling, hailing it for its comfort, drivability, and driving experience unlike no other car on the market. With production underway and orders being filled, SSC North America also looks to the near future for extreme performance, validation, and production. Tuataras. Years of design, engineering, and testing have laid the foundation for unparalleled results in speed, handling, safety, and drivability. Customers, members of the press, car enthusiasts, and fans will have multiple opportunities to get up close look at the SSC Tuatara during Monterey Car Week. SSC America will also be attending exotics on Broadway with pop-up interactions with the public and press throughout the week. So speaking of exotics on Broadway, which takes place on Saturday, August 17th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., I will be having our next guest for an interview to tell us more, Aimee Shackleford of, also known as Petrol Girl. So, alright guys, got Aimee Shackleford, also known as Petrol Girl, on social media. You may know her from the Gold Rush and the Fuel Run. Welcome to the show, Aimee.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So, for those that don't know, you produce a show every year during Monterey Car Week called, or it was called, Exotics on Cannery Row.
Correct. Was called. I'm still trying to get used to the new name.
No kidding. Same here. So, just tell us a little bit about the history of the show and...
Sure. Yeah, so the first year we did the show was in 2015, and the Cannery Row Commission was looking for a way to bring some business to Cannery Row during Car Week because nobody ever went down there before. That was always a vacant area during Car Week. So they wanted to bring the Car Week people to their area so their customers and businesses could have some customers. So we agreed. They had heard about us through Fuel Run and Gold Rush and thought we could bring a new element to Car Week, meaning something different. So we decided to have our show be about modern exotic cars and hypercars with the emphasis on modifications. So a lot of the exotic cars that come are modified at our show. Not so much the hypercars, because nobody really modifies hypercars, but the exotic cars are typically modified at our show. So we took that approach, promoted it, had no idea the turnout it got. Even the first year, we were expecting like 1,000 people, maybe, if that, and maybe 15 cars to register. The first year, we've sold out every year as far as registrations go. But the first year, I believe that 10 to 15,000 people were in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big surprise in a positive way for the most part. We just we could have used a bigger staff, which I think tripled our staff the next year. But it was great to see that we created something new and the community embraced it, between the car people and also the locals, because in 2015 there really wasn't any free shows. The only
no
shows
kidding,
there
considering
were, you had to spend so much money to go. So none of the locals could afford to go, except for those people who live in giant mansions in Pebble Beach. But for the most part, all the the locals, they can't spend $700-800 for one show's tickets. I don't want to mention names. Or another show is $250. So the community embraced us too, which was great.
Yeah, definitely, and I totally understand what you mean by the cost of attending these shows, because I'm trying to cover as many events as I can out there, and I just can't afford it. And yet there's all these
really
press events
expensive.
that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can, obviously those of us in media, we can try and get media passes, and I get some of them. But, other shows, they're so strict about it. And, gosh, I've been going to Car Week for, I think, 15 years. And when I first started going, I didn't have any money back then. I mean, 6 of us would get a hotel room and sleep on the floor just so we could go. And we go to the outside of Pebble Beach because there's still a lot of activity on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to the parking lot at Quail. So all the cars that parked on the lawn that were not in the show, that was a car show within itself. So, we didn't have a free car show back then. So us knowing that we created a free car show, or one of the first free ones, because now there's others, it felt great to know that the families in the community could come to our show, and boy, they sure did.
Yeah, it's perfect. And that's, I mean, as a car community, that's what you strive to present. Because, like you said, not everyone can afford to go out to be out on the concourse, the elegance, at Pebble Beach, whatever. It's the next best thing.
And the great thing is a lot of these hypercar owners were all for it. We'd asked all of them, hey, what do you guys think about coming to our show and letting the community that can't afford to, own things like this, be up and close with them? And gosh, so many of them were all for it. We had 20 hypercars lined up the first year. We had LaFerraris had just come out, and we had 3. So it was really cool to have all those hypercars available to, the public, instead of hidden in a car show that costs $700-800 to attend.
Okay. So the new venue, obviously it's not at Cannery Row anymore, and you've moved it over to, I guess, slightly a small trip over to Seaside. And a little bit more about that venue then.
Yeah, so just really quickly, 5 years later, every year our show got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we basically outgrew Cannery Row. They couldn't handle the traffic that was coming into that area anymore. So we were out of a home for a while, and Seaside reached out to us and wanted to take us under their wings, per se, to be on Broadway Avenue, which they have a new beautification project happening there. So we weren't sure, and just like with Exotics on Cannery Row, when we first announced that we were going there, everybody said that area is terrible, and it smells, and it's dirty. Well, everybody said this about this area, and I went there, and it was absolutely beautiful. Brand new streets, brand new sidewalks, street lights, just a beautiful little street. So we're very excited to be on Broadway between Del Monte and Fremont in Seaside.
Perfect. Yeah, it's like I grew up basically from age 11 or 12. Every weekend my dad would drag me out to Monterey every weekend while he would go commercial fishing, and I'd be stuck out in the parking lot of the wharf where they would load up the boats and such, and I'd be just walking up and down the wharf, whatever, with my mom. And so, yeah, I kind of know the general area and all that fun stuff. So it's
yeah, we're really excited about this new area. I mean, Seaside community is a great community, and people are very friendly there, and the city's just a little more at ease than Monterey City. You know, they really welcomed our show. We are different. We aren't the classic car groups. You know, we're the new kids on the block, and it's nice to feel welcomed by Seaside.
Well, that's perfect. And that's what I get because of the fact that, like I said, also, I have a rental property up there. Literally, actually, if you go straight on Broadway, straight all the way up towards the hills, towards the water towers, I got a rental property up there. So it's like, yeah, it's a great neighborhood, and maybe someday I'll get to retire out there.
Yeah, it's a great little community. I mean, we all got Airbnbs right up the hill too, you know, and we're happy to support and be a part of Seaside. That's a city that's willing to support what we're doing, including the police, and everybody's just been great with us in Seaside.
Okay. Next question I'm going to probably ask is, what can attendees expect to see? Like any special displays that you can let the cat out of the bag?
Yes, we have some pretty amazing things, and let me just point this out. We got Seaside location about a month ago. So in 1 month, we thought we weren't going to have any show this year. In 1 month, we managed to completely fill the show up. It is now sold out pretty much. We have all the major players coming back and new ones. Pagani's coming. They haven't told us what they're bringing. It's a surprise. But Koenigsegg is coming back with the Jesko, their new model, their CCX, the Jera RS. We have Ford coming with their Ford GT Mark II. That is not a street legal car, but it's an amazing car. I think they're only making 40 of them. We have Rimac coming. We have, for the first time, SSC from Washington is coming with a Tuatara. Say that 3 times in a row.
Yeah, named after a reptile. I know. I had a little trouble trying to pronounce that too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it though because I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet. So they're coming. West Coast Customs from LA. We be on TV. They're coming. We have a lot of new players this year, and we're just excited to have them. We have Buck Blue, which is an Instagram account from San Francisco. He has the matte blue LaFerrari coupe, and he has a matching matte blue LaFerrari Aperta, and the Aperta's never been seen by the public. So I think those 2 cars are probably going to be the biggest attention grabbers.
Cool. Now, just curious, is there, prior to the show opening up to the public, will it be like media press coverage open?
You know, I mean, I guess we're just super kicked back. We don't kick the public out until the show starts. I mean, they can wander around. We don't really care. We just tell the media, just come earlier if you want to get special shots, but we don't have restricted areas. We let everybody just see the show however they want. So yes, typically the media will come early. Okay. We don't charge anything, and everybody can just come enjoy it.
Okay. Like I say, any helpful hints? Like I'm gonna probably ask.
Sure.
Parking for attendees.
So parking and traffic was obviously insane in Cannery Row area. This year we are having a shuttle service and designated parking area, which we'll put on the website soon. And there's just tons more parking everywhere around this area compared to Cannery Row. But we will have a shuttle. We are going to offer a shuttle service, and we're going to have an Uber Lyft area too, which I suggest a lot of people just Uber and Lyft there. It's just easier.
Perfect. I'll be. I got the website up. I'll have in the video description and links to your website, so everyone can check out that for more information and all updates. So
perfect.
That'll be that on that aspect. And probably the last question I'm going to ask is, any famous YouTubers are going to be having their cars in the display? Reason why I ask that is I've heard that Shmee 150 has his Ford GT in the country right now. So
so I've known Tim, aka Shmee, since he was first doing YouTube. We're pretty good friends. He is going to be at the show with his Ford GT. He is coming and will be there with his car. As of now, that is the only confirmed YouTuber that we have coming, but they all end up showing up. Every year they all end up coming. Supercar Blondie, all of them. Ferrari collector David Lee, he's big on Instagram. All those guys, Chris Bing, Lamborghini, Nick, I think is his Instagram. These guys all come.
Perfect.
So it's a smorgasbord of, influencers from Instagram and YouTubers. They're all there.
Well, you figure it's like that's how a lot of the car fans watch all of these different channels, and it's a good chance they could get to see him and possibly meet him and get a selfie with him.
It is, and we really strive to get the YouTubers to come that are positive influence in the community. We don't like some of the ones that are negative influence, so we try hard to just bring the ones that are a positive influence in the community and these younger kids that look up to these YouTube people.
Exactly. Perfect. So pretty much I think that's a wrap up. I want to thank you for giving me your time to come onto my show, because I know I'm a small YouTuber myself, but I kind of care about the car community
all
itself.
All YouTubers count, no matter how big or small.
Yep. So I want to say thank you.
Okay, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So be sure to check out the video description for the links to Aimee's website and for updates and information. And be sure to check back here for my coverage in the following weeks of the show. So thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.